Let's be very clear from the beginning. This is not another recycled video where someone tells you to just think positive, visualize, and everything will magically come. You've heard that before, haven't you? You've tried it hoping something would change, but deep down, you wondered if this really works. Why isn't it working for me the way they promise it should? Let me tell you something real. If manifestation was only about pretending to be happy, the world would already be heaven. But it's not, because what truly changes your reality isn't fake positivity. It's energy, it's frequency, it's alignment. See, most people copy quotes. They repeat affirmations without power, without emotion, without belief. But what I'm about to share with you, it's not theory, it's not wishful thinking. It's something that wakes up the part of you that actually creates. Something electric. Because here's the truth. There are just two things I've done that have made every single manifestation of mine come to life. And I'm not talking small stuff. I've manifested everything: love, money, health, success, and even my height. Yeah, my height. 2 years ago, I was 20 years old. My height was 5'5". Yup, 20 and 5'5". If you've seen my last video 3 months ago, I was 6'1", and now I'm 6'3". Finally reaching my goal height. It didn't happen overnight, but it happened. It took disciplined belief and a deep understanding of energy. And in this video, I'm going to break those two things down for you step by step, so clearly that by the end, you'll know exactly how to manifest anything you want in this universe. So don't skip this. Don't treat it like just another video you half watch and forget. Because if you stay till the end, your entire way of seeing reality might just change forever. Before we move to the video, I just want to thank everyone who subscribed to my channel, and now it's at 1,000 subscribers. I'm not even joking when I say this. I manifested getting to 1,000 subs. It took me around 5 months, but it came true. So thank you, universe, and I hope every soul watching this video gets what they want. Don't beg. Why begging kills manifestation. Let's tear this apart. Begging is the language of lack. It's easy to fall into, especially when desire isn't just a want, but a desperate need. You're not just wishing anymore. You're aching for it. You want love, money, success, health, approval. You tell yourself you've been patient, that you've tried everything. So you pray, please God, please universe, I need this. Please give it to me. Maybe you even cry. Maybe you hold your chest or press your palms together tighter, hoping your emotion itself will make it real. You tell yourself you're putting more energy into it because you care so deeply. But stop for a moment, breathe, and ask yourself, what are those words really saying? Please give. In that very act of begging, you admit something hidden beneath the surface. I don't have it. I'm not it. And consciousness, the universe, your subconscious, whatever label you choose, only mirrors that belief. It gives you exactly what you claim to be. Neville Goddard taught that every prayer is answered when it is spoken from the position of being, not needing. He said prayer is not begging, but assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you beg, you don't speak as God, you speak as the one who lacks. You speak as the version of yourself, still waiting at the door with hope in your eyes, instead of certainty in your soul. Every time you plead and cry out, please, you program your inner world with the vibration of emptiness. You are affirming over and over, I am not enough, I don't have it, I cannot do this. The law does not hear your words, it feels your state. And if your state is begging, then your world must reflect the emotion of begging. Example, begging for love. Take Alice. Everything about her story is relatable. She's kind, caring, and carries that deep ache in her chest that comes from giving more than she receives. Relationship after relationship, it all falls apart. Every night she sits at the edge of her bed, hands clasped together, whispering, please send me someone who will love me. Please send me my person. She feels heartbreak, heaviness, and disappointment flooding through her. She scrolls through photos of couples smiling, engagement posts, romantic trips, and loneliness echoes louder in her chest. Her prayer seems full of hope, but also full of pain. Yet in her begging, something subtle is happening. Beneath the surface, she's praying not as the woman who is loved, but as the woman who is unloved. Not as the one who is secure, but the one abandoned by every promise Neville would have told her. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. In other words, feel yourself into the state where the desire is already real. Alice needs to pause, not to force positivity, not to deny her tears, but to become aware of what she's identifying as. The moment she shifts identity, everything changes. Instead of whispering, "Please love me," she begins to say in her heart, "I am loved. I am chosen. I am desired." She imagines lying next to someone who genuinely cherishes her existence. She smells their cologne, feels their warmth, hears laughter between them, like a soft hum of familiarity. This isn't delusion, it's direction. Imagination precedes creation. Neville called it the bridge of incidents. Life rearranges itself to match your internal assumption. But that bridge can't build until Alice stops crying at the riverbank of lack. When she begins to feel worthy, not because someone showed up, but because she already feels whole. Her energy reverses polarity. Love starts showing up everywhere, not always instantly, but it becomes inevitable. People respond to her differently. She glows from within. The confidence she once chased now radiates naturally. You see, begging is broadcast energy that screams, "I don't trust." But assuming the wish-fulfilled whispers, "I already have." The difference between need and possession is invisible, but everything in manifestation rests inside that gap. The subtle transformation. You don't need to stop wanting. Desire is sacred. It moves creation forward, but you must let go of needing. Needing says, "I don't have." Desire says, "I choose." This is why all ancient teachings, from the Bible to Buddhist philosophy to Neville's law of assumption, point to the same truth. Stop grasping and start being. Begging vibrates with fear. Faith vibrates with peace. Gratitude vibrates with arrival. When you rest in as if, you change worlds internally. You begin to walk like the person who already has it. You talk differently. Your tone changes. Your decisions shift. And your emotional atmosphere transforms. In manifestation, the mistake most make is thinking they are talking to a god outside of them. But all true teachers said otherwise. You're speaking to your own awareness. You are both the asker and the giver. Begging makes you forget that. When you say, "Please give me strength," you imply you don't already have it. When you say, "Thank you for my strength," you awaken it. When you say, "Please let me find love," you delay love. But when you affirm, "I am loved," you tune into the version of reality where it's done. Begging feels natural because it's emotional. It feels like passion, but often it's fear wearing a mask. Fear of losing. Fear of not being seen. Fear that maybe this whole manifestation thing won't work. We've been raised to believe humility means asking. In truth, divine humility means knowing who you are, God in miniature. When you remember that, you stop crying for crumbs when you were born to command feasts. It doesn't mean arrogance, it means alignment. Begging comes from separation. Creation comes from unity. Every great manifestation teacher eventually says this in some form. Stop looking out there and start creating in here. Outer change follows inner knowing, like a shadow follows light. Living without begging. So how do you stop begging and still express your desire? Through gratitude and embodiment. When you wake up, instead of asking for what you want, feel it as fulfilled. Speak in gratitude. Say, "Thank you for my health. Thank you for my peace. Thank you for the love that surrounds me." Even if your physical world hasn't caught up yet, gratitude affirms possession. And possession reshapes circumstance. Walk as the person who already got the call, received the message, heard the yes. Smile like the manifestation is old news. That's alignment. Your state precedes your evidence. Your energy writes reality ahead of you. When you stop begging, you remove mental noise. You realize manifestation is not about changing the outer world. It's about remembering inner truth. Everything you've ever begged for is already yours in consciousness. Your job is to align your feeling with that truth, to stop rehearsing the story of lack and start broadcasting the state of fulfillment. The law doesn't care if you've failed before, if you've cried before, or if you've begged 1,000 times. It only reflects now. You can switch states instantly. You can decide right now to end the begging cycle forever. The new way to pray. To pray right is to imagine right, to assume right, to awaken to who you really are. When you beg, you look up to the sky and speak to an invisible power. When you assume, you close your eyes and feel that invisible power within you. That's why Neville said, "Dare to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled." Persist in that assumption until it hardens into fact. When you start your day, don't ask, "Will it come?" Say, "It's done." When you lay in bed, don't cry, "Please fix it." Whisper, "Thank you. It's already turning." The power shifts instantly. Begging is the language of separation. Gratitude is the language of creation. Faith speaks without fear. Desire is your divine permission to create, not to chase. You don't manifest by screaming louder or praying longer. You manifest by becoming quieter inside until you can hear truth. Whisper, "It's already yours." So stop begging. The moment you do, you start commanding reality softly, silently, powerfully. Life moves around you like clay under unseen hands. You no longer convince, you attract. You no longer hope, you know. Prayer isn't a plea anymore. It's a gratitude that it's already done. And that's where real manifestation begins. Now, let's get into what might actually be the most important point in your entire manifestation journey. If there's one last piece of advice I want you to take away from this video, it's this. Do not tell anyone what you're currently manifesting. I know that might sound a bit extreme or even confusing at first. You might be thinking, what is he even talking about? But listen, because this is something I wish someone had told me when I started out. The truth is, when you start sharing your manifestations with people, you're opening the doors for their doubts, their skepticism, and all their limiting beliefs to flood into your reality. Most people, even your close friends and family, simply won't get it. Maybe out of concern, or maybe just because they don't understand how powerful your belief really is. They'll question you. Sometimes they'll say it jokingly like, "You really think that's gonna happen?" Other times, it's straight up negativity. "Be realistic, man. That stuff doesn't work." But it goes even deeper. Because every time someone reacts that way, you feel just a little more self-conscious about your dream. Even if you start out confident, their questioning starts echoing in your mind. Suddenly, their doubts become a little voice inside your own head. That voice can introduce uncertainty into your subconscious, which is the exact opposite of what the law of assumption or any manifestation technique teaches. Your manifestation needs unwavering faith. It thrives in silence, in privacy, where no one else's vibration can mess with it. Here's the part most people miss. Telling someone what you're manifesting is like taking a seed you just planted and digging it up to show everyone. How's it supposed to grow? Every time you share your goals, you're exposing them to a world that most of the time isn't ready to believe like you do. The truth is, most of us are surrounded by people who play it safe, who believe only what's realistic. And when you share your biggest dreams, it frightens or confuses them. So they project those fears back onto you. Let me share my own story as proof. If you've seen my previous video, you already know this. But for the first 3 months of my journey, I didn't grow even a single inch. The main reason, I was constantly telling everyone around me about what I wanted to manifest. I wanted support. I wanted validation. Instead, all I got was people questioning me, laughing, doubting, "That's not possible. You're being delusional. Just accept reality." I'd try to brush it off, but honestly, those negative opinions built up in my mind and started making me question myself. After a while, I felt frustrated. Why isn't this working for me? Why am I not moving forward? It wasn't until I stumbled onto a teaching, which changed everything for me, that I realized the importance of just keeping quiet. The lesson was simple. Protect your manifestations. Keep your desires private, especially during those early, sensitive stages. If you feel the urge to share, don't say a word until you already have undeniable proof. So, I stopped talking. I put my head down, kept working silently, and almost immediately after that, things shifted. I started getting results. Literally, the moment I stopped sharing, my growth began. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out, because I explained how this all unfolded, step by step, and how you can do it too. Let this be your sign. The world doesn't need to understand your vision, and you don't need to explain yourself. Your own energy is sacred. Don't dilute it with other people's fears or opinions. Don't invite in those subtle voices of doubt. When you keep your goals private, you're not only protecting your faith, but you're actually skyrocketing your chances of success, because your belief remains pure and undisturbed. So even if it sounds weird, trust me on this. Keep your next big move a secret. Let your actions and your results speak so loud that nobody can question your journey. Sometimes, silence really is the most powerful move you can make for your manifestations. So that's it for today's video, and my advice on how to manifest. If you made it to the end, here's one book I would like to suggest. Actually, I recommend this book to everyone. The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. It truly changed my mindset and can do the same for you. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next week with a new video. Stay blessed, don't beg, and don't say a word to anyone.